Yo, what is poppin'? All right, so right now I'm just gonna talk to you about my spiritual journey. What has changed for me, and how I've really just gone from myself to losing myself to really coming back into myself. So, to put it simply, I I spent a lot of time feeling depressed, feeling anxious, feeling lost, having all these addictions. Um, and I'm not gonna say that that stuff is like non-existent in my life, because there, of course, there's still some remnants of that I'm working through. But I feel like I'm honestly, most of my days are better than they ever have been. Like, I feel like there's great periods of time during my 20s and before that where I just was unhappy most of the time, and I was really just fighting myself most of the time. You know, it's a horrible thing, really, to be uncomfortable in your own skin, to not love yourself, to not trust yourself. It's really the, for me, it's like the worst way of living. Because at least, like some people, they might like party all the time, or they might do drugs, or they might rob banks, or they could be a martyr, or they could be an entrepreneur. But the worst thing I think you can be is in the void, in a wishy washy world of nothing where you don't know who you are and you're constantly searching. And this is really a search of the ego that's trying to find itself. And that's really what my ego was addicted to. I realized this. I had a moment one time, I don't know, it's like a year or so ago, where like my roommate, who is like a good channeler, very spiritual person, she like read into the fact that I was identified as someone who doesn't know what they're doing, like someone who's just lost. And I don't really know, like, this may come from a place of trauma, fear, things that have happened in my life, losing my dad when I was 15, and which led to, me becoming an alcoholic and me selling weed and getting arrested. And then after like having a crazy downswing of like sadness, then it was just like really just, like I said, just in the middle, in the just like stuck in this murky middle where I was dating people that I didn't care about. I was at jobs that I didn't care about. I just never knew who I was. And all that to say that now I'm finally finding myself again. And the irony of it all is when you find yourself, for a while I was on like a self-help journey, which I would say I still am in a way, but more so I'm in a self-acceptance journey. This bee really loves me right now. Um yeah, more important than like self-help or self-development, like trying to change myself. Yeah, in a way it is changing, but it's really coming back to oneself. And I feel like this is a spiritual journey as well as it is like a human journey as well, which there's like, the book from Wayne Dyer, every problem has a spiritual solution, or there's a spiritual solution to every problem. So there's always that element of like the divine and what I'm speaking. Um, But basically, like, I realized I didn't need to become someone else. Like the old adage, like, just be yourself. There's a reason. I've learned in my life at 33 years of age that there's a reason why things become like um, cliche, like all these cliches, like love yourself or just be yourself, or love thy neighbor, or this too shall pass. That one's life changing. As like Adyashanti will say, some of the most powerful spiritual teachings are the simplest. And because they're so simple, we like kind of overlook them in a way. And they become like we tend to want to overlook them because they seem so simple. Yeah, just be myself. Okay. But yeah, what I realized is the more I grow, it's like really just coming back to myself. And really how I've done that mostly is not by adding. It's not by adding new concepts to who I am, new new additions to my ego, because I went down that road too, where it's like I'm trying all these extra things. I'm creating all these laundry lists of to-do lists, and creating all these new identities. It's really just coming back to who I truly am, which is consciousness. But like when I come back to myself as consciousness rather than like my ego, like my ego actually is getting like gets integrated back into myself, if that makes sense. It's getting like a little esoteric, so I hope you can follow me. But basically, like I thought like meditation, and I thought sitting on the mat and just being present and just recognizing myself as consciousness. You have this kind of fear of the mind that you're just going to become a nobody, and in a way you do. But really, like I found that I it's not like I washed away my ego and I have like no personality anymore and I just become this blob. I just feel like I'm no longer attached to the ego. It's like when you know the truth of who you are as consciousness and not the mind and not the ego, then you recognize the ego for what it is. You recognize life for what it is, which is just a game. Like all of this is just it's just a play. It's a play on consciousness. It's like life is playing with itself. So what I found through all that is I keep coming back to who I've always been. The things I loved as a kid, my initial loves that were just pure joy, that were like this expression of consciousness. Like everyone has a unique expression of consciousness. It's not like LeBron James is gonna go like pick up a tennis racket and just go to town like one day. It's like his soul is just screaming out to play basketball, obviously, and it's like that is his divine expression. Like Tony Robbins, his soul wants to be expressed as a motivator, as a leader, as a speaker. It's not like one day he's gonna go out and be like a chef or something. It's just not going to happen. It's not likely to happen. And if they even tried those things, they wouldn't really resonate. You notice some things when they don't resonate, and they start to fall away. Everything that doesn't resonate. For me, for a while, I thought I wanted to be a runner. Which I wanted, okay, I'm going to start running, but I couldn't run for very long. I could run for a decent while, but the thing is, I got really bored really quickly. And so instead of running, I was like, well, how am I going to get cardio? I just got to force myself to run more. Well, instead of forcing myself to run, which I never really enjoy doing, I just decided to pick up skateboarding again, which, guess what? I used to skateboard a lot when I was a kid. Like, I was addicted. I was in love with skateboarding. I was in love with skateboarding. Me and my friends would skateboard after school every day, literally every day for like probably a couple years. We would go to his curb right outside his house. That's how good we were. We would skate on the curb. We would just skate in the street for the most part, but like there was like no cars. It was awesome. We just skate in the street, work on our ollies, just ride around. He had a little rail at one point. We would like, I don't know, grind on the curb. I don't even remember doing that many tricks. Like we sucked really bad. But it was the most fun thing ever. I loved it. I literally loved it. And I'm 33, and that was when I was like 15, and I just picked it up last year, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually what I enjoy doing. Way more than I ever enjoyed running. Way, way more. And now, like, it's not even a chore. Even like days where I'm like tired, like, I think about skateboarding almost every day, and like, usually I want to go skate, you know? And it's just such, I will burn so many more calories and sweat my ass off way harder from skateboarding than I ever would from running, just because like my soul like wants to do that. Like I have this inner desire to do that. It's so enjoyable. It's like so much more creative for me because I like to learn new tricks, and I'm always like a go-getter, and I like to like my brain likes to learn things. So it's like combining like learning plus cardio plus all of this. And so yeah, if there's anything I could say uh, that I've learned most, or one of the things I've learned most in my spiritual journey is just how much you come back to who you truly are and who you always have been. I mean, that is my experience. Like I'm playing video games again. I'm skateboarding. I'm making videos. I'm laughing. I'm watching comedy, stand up. Like I'm staying up late. I don't care when I go to bed. Like I honestly don't. Like I try to get decent sleep, which I usually do, but like I don't even use an alarm anymore. I just go to work when I'm ready to go to work. I was demonizing everything. Like my mind would say, "Oh, that's bad. That's bad. You need to do this. You need to wake up at 6." I was literally waking up at like 6 a.m. for a while. And I hated it. I hated it. I fucking hated it. I literally hated it. I was waking up at 6 a.m. and I would like go straight to work, and I would just grind, 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 and it was literally killing me. It was not in alignment with my soul. So yeah, I feel so much happier just doing what I love to do, not doing what you're supposed to do or what is like, what society says we're supposed to do. Yeah, no, I'm learning in so many ways. I go to the movies all the time now. Like I just got the unlimited movie pass. I freaking love watching movies. Like it's one thing I love to do. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share that. So to recap, see, I'm not good at staying on topic, but I think I did pretty good in this video, keeping my brain on point. But yeah, to recap, I don't know. if you're on a spiritual journey or whatever, it's like you just come back to being just be yourself, man. Just be yourself. That's the theme of this video. Just be yourself. Allow yourself to be. Don't worry about what people say or what you're supposed to do. Do what resonates with you because your soul has a purpose. Your soul, it's really what lights you up. It's the energy of it. You can tell when you do something you love, it feels good. It feels right. Like what is your soul is desiring something. And it's not always what your mind says it is. It's usually what your heart says it is. I honestly I feel like that's a big part of it. Is coming back into the heart space, which is another thing I've been doing. I've been doing heart opening meditations and things like that, and just dropping back into the heart rather than living in the mind, which I was doing for so long. So anyway, hope that helps. I hope you're having a great day. Peace out.